Hi, this is Matt with AppliancePartsPros.com. Today we'll be showing you how to repair your appliance. Remember, anytime you work on an appliance, make sure it's unplugged or the circuit breakers are off so there's no chance of electrocution.
Also make sure you turn off the dishwasher's water supply underneath the sink.
In this video, we're going to show you how to change out the Maytag Dishwasher Discharge Housing Assembly. It's going to be a very easy repair and should only take a few minutes to show you how to do it. If you already have one of these, great. If not, you can click on the link below or get it at AppliancePartsPros.com. When you open up the package, you're going to get the new Discharge Housing Assembly. The Discharge Housing Assembly goes inside the pump. The main reason you'd be changing it out is if this bolt has come loose and it won't tighten up, or the housing is damaged inside where the impeller goes. In order to get to the part, we have to open up the dishwasher door and remove the lower rack. Now that we have the rack out of the way, we can remove the nut that holds in the lower spray arm assembly. Once you have the nut off, you can lift the lower spray arm out. Now that we have the spray arm out of the way, we can remove the 6 Torx 20 screws that hold in the upper pump housing. Alright, now that we have the screws out, we can lift this upper cover off. Now we can remove the pump filter so we have access to the screws. And we can lift off the rinse arm assembly and remove this cap. Then we can take out needle nose pliers and grab this nut right here, loosen it up so it comes off. And then we can take it out along with the wash arm support. Now we can remove the 3 screws that hold in the discharge housing assembly. We're going to use our 5/16 nut driver and take them out. Now that we have the screws out, we can lift out the discharge housing. Here's the old discharge housing assembly next to the new one. If you already have one of these, great. If not, you can get it at AppliancePartsPros.com. On the back of the discharge housing assembly, there is a groove where a gasket goes. Anytime you take this out and change it, you probably want to put a new gasket in it so you don't have to use the old one that may be bad or deteriorated. So all you have to do is line it up in the groove and make sure it goes in all the way around. When you put the gasket in the groove, you want to make sure it has no twists in it so it gets a good seal. Now that we have the discharge housing put together, we can put it in the dishwasher. Now we can put the discharge housing back onto the pump. All we have to do is line it up with the screw holes, push it down into place so you get the seal set, and then we can use our 5/16 nut driver to put the screws back in. Next, we can put the wash arm support back on and the nut to hold it in place. Once you get it a little tight, you can use your needle nose and just give it a little extra to hold it down. Now we can put back in the rinse arm assembly. Make sure you line it up so it goes all the way down like that. And then we can put the nozzle on the top. Now we can put the filter back in place. You want to make sure that the filter goes into this groove right here. Make sure you push it down all the way around so it's seated properly and doesn't come out. Now we can put the top back on the pump assembly. If these spacers fell out while you were taking it apart, we'll show you where those go to. When you put this down, you want to make sure that these 2 nozzles, in this screw hole particularly, are at 12 o'clock. So when you put it down, the pump is lined up properly. If these spacers came out like we said, all you have to do is offset the spaces and then we can put them back around the housing assembly right here and push them down in place. Alright, now we can go around and put the screws back in and tighten them down with our Torx 20 driver. Now when you put the spray arm back on, there's a flat on each side of the spray arm that corresponds with a flat on each side of this piece. So when you set it down, you want to make sure that those line up. So the spray arm sits down all the way and it'll turn. Now we can put the nut back on to hold it in place. Now that we have the pump reassembled, we can put the lower dish rack back in and close the door. Now that you're done repairing the appliance, you can plug it back in, turn the water back on, and give it a spin. Thanks for joining us for another successful repair brought to you by AppliancePartsPros.com. Check out our other repair videos on our site, Facebook, and YouTube.